The last class we have seen, I told you that we will be starting with the history today. Good morning to everyone. Yeah, I received your good morning. Now you can go back to your textbook. First of all, we were telling about, I will start history. So the first chapter was emerging cultural traditions in Europe, 1300 to 1800. That was the first chapter. Then we have seen, if you are having any doubts, now you can ask, because we are going to start a new chapter today. That's the reason why. If you are having any doubts somewhere, especially 12th chapter, that is changing cultural traditions in Europe, 1300 to 1800. If you are having any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, I don't see any doubts there. Now, these are all video classes. These are all video classes only. Now, another chapter is Democratic and Nationalist Revolution, 17th, 18th, and 19th century. This is also important because in the 15th chapter, when what I am going to start, there you will have some reference to the Glorious Revolution. Where it happened? Who can say where the Glorious Revolution started? I would like you to give answer. Yes, it is in England. Then we have seen the American independence. American independence we have seen. Then the Declaration of American Independence. Then we have French Revolution. Then the socio-economic conditions there. Then the tennis court of the outbreak of revolution of the French Revolution, and the details related to that. All these we have seen. If you are having any doubts regarding this, you can ask. You have seen about Napoleon, then you have studied about Bismarck. Now, in the next chapter, 13th chapter, you have seen industrialization and social change. So already I have told you, Glorious Revolution, French Revolution, American Revolution, and Indian Revolution. These four revolutions are very important for the change of this particular world now. The historical part of the world is based on these revolutions. Before that, there was a particular system of rule, monocratic rule or aristocratic rules were there. Now, because of these revolutions, democratic rules started all over the world. And one more revolution we will study in 10th class, that is the Russian Revolution or the Communist Revolution or the Bolshevik Revolution. So industrialization is also considered as a revolution. What do you mean by revolution? A sudden change that we have seen in the video classes. Where it started, it was in Britain that we have seen. And one of the reasons for the availability of coal and iron we have seen. And what is the reason for industrialization started there in England? Was the climate there, the availability of the raw material there, and the money available because of the banking system available there in Britain. And there was a lot of labor forces also. This was the situation why we have this industrial revolution very much important for us. Now coming to the importance, cotton and iron, already I told you. Now cotton, spinning and weaving. This you started learning from 7th class onwards. Weaving of cloth and cotton, all these we have seen, even starting from 6th to 7th classes also. Now, another thing is the introduction of steam engine invented by James Watt. That also created the what you call the industrial revolution, very important one. Okay, this is an introduction to the 15th chapter. And before that, there is one more thing, that is the transportation. The transportation facilities started improving a lot. Now, this all changed the life of the people. This all changed the life of the people, especially the women, then the workers, even the children. In 8th class, you have studied in English a particular poem, Cry of Children, what they were doing. That was the situation of the Industrial Revolution. So even children below the age of 10 were also asked to work in the field, in the mines, and they were also asked to do a lot of work. So the changes happened with the workers and that of the women, that of the children, and industrialization has changed everything in the world. So the old system of a particular group of people doing some work, that's the artisans, for example, or the system that was emerged before the industrialization is just changed. We'll see that even the military was given to the peasants. So when the new rule that happened has changed the peasants also into army people, soldiers. Same way, a lot of changes happened with the industrial revolution. Then this industrialization happened not only in Britain, but it happened in Germany and France also. Now, some of the families who have what you call very important families have courage, means have come up, rise up as the richest people in the world. Even now, the industrial families are the richest people all around the world. The system is just changed. Number one in the world at that time, the group family we have seen. With all this, we are coming to the 5th chapter. Because of the changes in the society, there were a lot of changes I told. In the situation of the peasants, situation of the laborers, situation of the rich people, the administrative level, everything changed. Revolution itself is a sudden change. With this, there started some social protest movements also. And what is given in the beginning, because of the revolutions that happened in England, that is bloodless revolution, that's the glorious revolution, change from the aristocratic to the democratic rule happened without shedding a single drop of blood. But it was not the situation when American independence happened. And it was not the situation when French Revolution happened. In the French Revolution, we will see 3 important points. That is liberty, fraternity, this particular rules, equality. So liberty, fraternity, and equality. These 3 ideas you can see there. It is there in your book also. The French Revolution has produced a new idea that is based on the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. This idea was given in the French Revolution or before the French Revolution by Rousseau. Rousseau has given this idea, and this idea was spreading all over the world. This idea of these 3 ideas, liberty, fraternity, and equality, was spreading all over the world. Not only the rich people, not only the administrators, not only the rulers, everyone is equal. So the only thing is that in industrial revolution, what happened is people were just pressed. They were taken into different lands on the basis of to sell them. Slave trade has also happened. So wherever suppressed people there, frustrated people were there, they started to react, and that reaction is known as social protest. And there were many movements in that line. There were many movements. The way of living of the people changed a lot. Way of living of the people changed a lot. Industrial workers, then those who are the owners, even though they became owners in the beginning of the industrial revolution, they were also suffering, but because of their unsympathetic feeling towards what you call the children, the workers, and their pathetic situation, horrible situation, made people to react. So that reaction has made a lot of issues here in the industrial world, especially in England. There was a 100 years war between England and France. So a lot of money was to be spent upon that. So cruel working conditions were there in England and France. All the gents, male members were supposed to enter into the war situation. And then what happened? Women started working at home. They are the people who were managing the homes. So naturally, there was a lot of corruption also. Lot of corruption also started there in these countries. So because of this, one of the protest movement that happened is Luddism. The name of that particular movement is known as Luddism. Now you can see I'll be sharing the social protest movement chapter to you on your screen. You can watch it. Just go through it. I can explain also. Okay. I think you are having that textbook with you. If not, also no problem. Just to see what is there. And after completing the class, you are supposed to read it. As you are all having what you call the cell phone, you can scan that scan code is also there. QR code is there that you can scan and you can understand the lesson in a better manner. So I already told you, because of the way that the people changed, then industrialization emerged as the nation states have changed the lives of the people. The basic change was about the life, dignity, and their relation with their own work and its products, and their families and neighborhood. I already mentioned about the cry of the children in 8th class, which you have studied in English lessons. So what happened? The father is in the what you call warfield. Sometimes he is killed. Mother is in the factory. She is doing some kind of work, and the children were just discarded. In order to live, what they have to do? They have to also do some work. And what kind of work? It's not very simple work. That was very horrible work actually. And with this, what happened? There is an end of the dignity of the people. There was insecurity in life. There was no secure life for them. Then they were forced to work in the factory, and hundreds of thousands of workers were under the control of the unsympathetic foremen and managers. That's what happened. Then the factory owners, whenever they are feeling that they are having some less profit, they just started cutting down their salary. So, and more than that, I already told you, because of the political ideas of the French Revolution of liberty, equality, and fraternity, a creation, all these created a democratic institutions like French parliamentary assemblies in 1790. Then the difficulties of the people increased and they were not controlling the prices because of the war situations, and the necessities like bread was not available. They have nothing to eat. That's the situation that they were facing. Then not only that, the artists, then the intellectual, they were not able to get at least a kind of situation that we are facing now. The corona has made the intellectual, the teaching community to suffer a lot because they don't have proper salary, they don't have means they are doing a lot of work without much benefit. Even salaries are restricted after 6 months in at home. What is the situation? This was the situation at that time also. Now you can understand. Some of your parents may not be happy about their salary being reduced. Okay, you just listen. What is the situation there in industrialization? That's what I am speaking. The community, the intellectual people, the artists, they don't have any work at all. Same as the teachers. You are listening the classes. Teachers are working also. The human values are reduced. That's the situation. And everyone is just doing the work is not giving you a benefit. Are you getting the same amount of money that you were able to get after this corona has started? That's the situation. Very easily you can understand. At that time, in the industrial revolution also, same situation happened. The poverty of the working class increased. And now it's for everyone. It's not for any particular group of people. The income of the people reduced. That's what I say. So what is the reaction to that at that time? The situation is new social groups emerged. And there was some important rules should be followed by them. And a new society, a new idea, that is socialism has emerged. Before that, it was capitalism. Those who are working will get profit. Now what happened is, Shivani, it is not because of our problem. Our network is going on very well. Wi-Fi is also very good. So it's your problem. You have to adjust yourself and listen. And you check the textbook also. I'm giving some hints only. More than that, there is nothing related to that. Okay, I think. So the particular French Revolution has changed the women. Similarity of means women has come out of their houses, and the society, the economy, polity, culture, everything changed. The cruel condition, working condition of the society was changing. And in the beginning, what happened is the citizens were voting right is there, and they were electing their own representatives. The serfs, that is the peasants, the slaves, and the workers were not given any kind of what you call voting right. So they were asking for voting right to vote. universal adult franchise is there, but unfortunately, it was not at all existing. That's the situation that we are having. Now, I told you France and England were fighting a war, and that is known as 100 Years' War, 1790 to 1815. So there was a lot of disruption in England also. So the people means the parliaments passed a lot of rules against what you call the corruptions. So in England, what happened is they have stopped. The king has stopped what you call unauthorized gatherings. Where that is more than 50 people should not gather together. That was the situation made by the authorities, the parliament, constitution or government made people not to gather together. Don't do any kind of annotation. Now, in cities, in towns and in factories, the workers came together to protest against it. And what was the main issue? They wanted bread or food. And that kind of, when they were not having enough food, they came out fighting for food. That's happened from 1790 onwards. So what is the staple food of the French people? That was bread. So that was the diet of the poor people also. That was not available. And the government, the governed were not able to give a standard living to the people. So they started going out and taking away the bread from the shops. Then morally correct pricing was not there. Then these riots gave a chance for a kind of situation in 1840. So what happened? This particular issue is known as enclosure. And this enclosure has created a lot of problem for the people. Now a new kind of what you call when food is not there, people react a lot. Sir. 1 second. So I told you, because of the industrial revolution, what happened is people were not having enough food. So unemployment has started and the prices of essential food items increased. Bread was not available. So people started fighting for food. Fighting for food. That's the situation that they were facing. Then food riots started. They were going out. Wherever there is food, they started collecting it. So the what you call the people who are in the administration had to control the people. Landowners, manufacturers, professionals, everyone was good and right. But unfortunately, what happened is the common people were suffering a lot. And the writers, what they did, they smashed off everything, whatever they have seen on the way. They have just removed. Stop. Share it, stop. Okay, I'll stop the sharing and we'll talk to you. Okay, fine. There was some issues in sharing. Okay, I think you have understood what is the situation that we are explaining about. After the Industrial Revolution, I conclude now. After the Industrial Revolution, a lot of poverty started all over the societies of France, England, and almost all the European countries, including Russia. But the reaction came in Russia afterwards. Now it happened in France because of the three ideas, that is liberty, fraternity, and equality. People started reacting not because of the ideas, but because they don't have enough. When there is no food, there is no bread, women came out, children came out, and also workers came out, the poor people came out, and all of them went out as groups. They started smashing off everything, killing as many people as possible, and they wanted to get food. This is the situation that we are facing. And in the next maybe class, we will see what is Luddism. That is in 1811 to 17, a charismatic general, Ned Ludd, that is the name of the person, he has found out that he wanted to destroy the machines. So because of the machines, the workers were not taken by the companies. So what happened? He just told everyone, just we will smash off, destroy the machines. So what? They will get more job. The labor will be more for the women and the children. So they wanted to destroy the machinery. So this particular movement is known as, led by Ned Ludd, is known as Luddism. Now, this is the first one, Luddism, led by Neo Led. This is the first movement because they felt that the reason for their non-availability of food is because of the machine. No work is there. That is the reason why unemployment is there. When there was no machines, they had enough work in the field and everywhere. You might have studied in the 7th class, for example, the weaving community. For example, Pochampalli is having the sari production. There, the weavers are making a sari. It will take what they call as maybe some 1 week or 10 days. In 1 week or 10 days, they are going to make one sari. But in industrialization, what happened? In 1 week, they could produce hundreds of saris. The things become cheap, but the number of laborers are becoming lesser. What is the meaning of that? Unemployment started. Unemployment started. Now, in a particular offices, half of the people only need to come to office. Or in industry also, half of the people are only allowed to work. This particular situation is very special. I told you at that time also, when they are able to establish a machine, they don't want to employ more laborers. What is the situation? They don't have enough. And in between, there was wars. When the wars were there, naturally, the men folk should go out to fight with, and they are killed. And at home, the women are supposed to take care of the family. And what is the main problem? They don't have enough food. So this particular situation has created a social movement known as Luddism under the leadership of General Ludd. And he promoted or proposed people to destroy all the machines. That was the situation that happened in the industrially developed regions. Now, after that, there is another system that emerged, that is socialism. Okay, another 5 minutes I can give you for asking question. If anything is not clear, please ask. Solve the history. What is history? History is where we are now. That's what we are learning. By 10th class, when you are completing 10th class history, you will know what is your position in the history. What happened in the ancient period? What happened in the medieval period? What happened in the modern period? What is the current situation? These are the four areas that I would like history to be divided. Ancient means very past, very much past history. Maybe even it may not be recorded, or even if it is recorded also, that may not be perfect. And in the medieval period, we have already we have seen different records are there, books are available, and some particular situations are known to us also very clearly. In the modern period, after the industrialization, a lot of inventions, discoveries happen. So, at present, for example, you just imagine when you are saying, in my younger days, I have seen black and white TV. Now, you have seen what you call color TV. Now we are having advanced forms of what you call TV system. Or I never heard of an internet in my younger days. Means when I was in school. After that, it was known to us. Now you know that if internet is a bit broken, we will not be able to listen to the classes. So that is the situation that we have. And every knowledge that we wanted to get, we can see whether it is a correct knowledge or the value system is right or wrong, that is secondary, but that we can use it, that's the situation. So nobody is reading a newspaper nowadays. In my younger days, when I was studying intermediate or a degree level, the basic thing that we were believing is the newspaper. After that, we will watch the radio or TV. That was the situation. Now, lot of changes are happening. Every time there will be change. And from 1900 onwards, the world has changed a lot, not little changes. First, it was very long period of time. Now the period is reduced. Now every day there is a change. Every minute there is a change. That is the situation that we are. That is the reason why we have to study history. And in the history, what happened and why we do have a democratic system, how the value system is developed, and what is the value system that we are promoting, where it has come from. These are the issues that we are discussing in history part. So already I told you, this idea of liberty, fraternity, equality, these issues are continuously being promoted as the values of the society. These values of the society, if we have to understand, we have to study the history very well. Tomorrow means next class, we will be seeing socialism. Till there, if you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. I would like you to go through the textbook ones and what you understood up to now. Make a short summary of it in your own words. Don't look into the book. Just 3, 4, 12, 13, 14 chapter is over. And what is the summary of it? What you have understood? What that you understood, you write in maybe 15 sentences enough. Even 10 sentences also enough. What you learned. Don't read the textbook for writing that. Just to go through it. If you want, you can turn the pages and what you understood. Till and what is the situation that I am explaining now in the 15th chapter. What is the reason for the social protest movements? Immediate one already we have spoken. Buddhism led by General Led. And the next one is socialism. Socialism is also having this idea mainly. The idea that was promoted by French Revolution, Rousseau. This idea is promoted there. This is what I would like to speak to you. Just write a 15 sentence summary of history what you have learned. Tomorrow we'll see, means next class we'll see socialism. Okay, well, good. If you don't have any doubt, we can end the meeting. If you are having any doubt, put it in the chat. Are you all there? Attendance sheet from there. I'll send the attendance sheet afterwards into your WhatsApp group. Okay, everything is clear, I think. If everything is clear and if any doubt is there, means ask. I think till now a summary of the history is given to you. Okay.